Okay. Says I'm being okay. Beautiful. It's been a long time since I've done a live stream in this way to a Facebook group or my wall using Zoom as my base. So thank you everyone for your patience. First of all, welcome. Welcome to Tapestry Feminine Collective. And if I look like I am just beaming in this moment, I promise you I am. As I have said in a number of places by now, Tapestry Feminine Collective truly is a merging together of many, many visions and expressions and experiences that I have both lived and seen coming into form. So to have you arrive and assemble and be present here with me, not for me, with me, is one of those beautiful golden threads that are woven into this experience for all of us. We are all the Tapestry Feminine Collective. So the next piece that I want to share is there will be different ways that I will be coming into this group. Certainly, I will be posting, I will be offering teachings, much like this one today, which I also call transmissions, because what is happening in this case is that I've been given a topic, a body of energy teaching around a particular, sometimes it's just a phrase, and then it begins to bloom and blossom. I will be given those at different times. And what I know is it's meant to come through me as a teaching and transmission being offered to you. All of my teachings, all of my transitions, what I write, what I speak, whether that's here to my clients, to people I love. There's a preface I often have, which is, I'm not telling you this is what's right. I'm not holding this up as the only truth for every human in the world. I'm sharing what I see and sense, and am allowing that to come through and be shared with you. I'm going to pause one moment and I cannot see the Facebook group here on my computer screen. So I'm going to check in. I'm going to look at the Facebook group. I'm going to see if there are any comments. I want to check in if you can hear me well now that we're here. So bear with me a moment while I do that. And if you're listening, please make a comment and let me know that you can, in fact, hear. Let me know that you're here. Okay, I see people. I see people are responding to the live video, so the sound and the quality are good. Thank you. Okay. It's a lot of energy, friends. It's a lot of energy. These are big moments. So I just want to come right back into this space, into the feminine art of weaving and why it cannot be rushed. I know this because of what has been unfolding in my own life in connection to receiving this vision for Tapestry Feminine Collective, really staying in close partnership with the vision, first of all, right here with myself. And that began that depth of intimacy and deep relationship to myself at a whole new level from a very different perspective began the moment this picture of what we are creating dropped in. Immediately, my world shifted. Immediately, I was moved to a deep space of, if I'm doing this alone, am I doing it anyway? Even if nobody else steps up, do I feel the intimate connection to what I am creating enough to stay with her? And the answer again and again is yes. What I want to share about our weaving is, in relation to it not being rushed, is very much about not only what I have learned and experienced, but it's also living art, because it's being birthed as well out of what is happening for me and around me and within this tapestry baby now. It's all about what is happening now. It's live. It's in my life. I'm not sitting back and going, okay, I've figured all of this out and I'm going to pass it to you. There are pieces I have figured out. There is wisdom and truth I will pass to you. And I'm still walking this human path. So I'm still in these cycles myself. The first thing I want to pass along, and I'm sure many of you have heard it, and this is not new, is that every creation takes time and has a cycle. And I just posted on my wall, as I was sitting and preparing these notes, when we as women get clear that we want to have a child, first of all, not always. Certainly, sometimes our children arrive in these bodies somewhat unexpectedly. But in the cycle of creation and for our purposes, let's look at it this way. She has a desire to have a baby. She makes love with her partner. And certainly, I want to insert here that all of what is happening around Tapestry Feminine Collective is with respect and honoring of our men. It is not an exclusion of or to pull us apart or separate. I have written at length on my wall and in my personal spaces about my love of the masculine, my experience in coming into deep relationship with the masculine, my ups and downs with my husband. So I want to take a moment and say we are absolutely honoring and uplifting our men. She makes love with her partner, and to conceive, certainly if you are a woman in partnership with a man or in partnership with conception, not always, but very often there is that particular point in the cycle where we are making love to conceive. She then conceives the baby. She then begins to like literally our bodies expand, our experience of life is already evolving even before the child arrives. So we are in change, even as that child is still in our belly. They haven't even been birthed yet. We're not holding them. We're not figuring out why they're crying. We're not waking in the night. We're certainly not raising them and taking them to school. We're holding that creation in our bodies. In our bodies, it's an embodied living art creation. We nourish ourselves and thus nourish our baby. We think about and begin to prepare and put into place how we will care for this child. Where will they live in our home? How will we make space for new life? We get closer. We have all the feelings, we have the emotions, we have the anxiety, we have the uncertainty, we have the fear of what actual childbirth might be like. There's a lot that we as women move through, open into, release, bring in during the time from wanting the baby to carrying the baby and even to those moments of preparing for birth. We prepare everything in the physical realm, and we then have this space where we nest. And that has two elements in my experience of birthing 3 babies. And that is, we are very busy in getting the physical into place, and we are resting. The closer we get to the birth, the more rest is required so that we can hold the bigness of what is going to quite literally come through our bodies. I had 9-pound babies. I know how that is. The baby is born, and from the moment that baby arrives and we hold them in our arms and we are in the hospital, possibly, or at home, however we're being cared for, it already becomes apparent we're not in the stage of pregnancy anymore. This being is alive. This being has needs. Our whole life seems to be disrupted and turned upside down at certain points as we adjust to this new experience. As we then move forward into getting more comfortable, we understand the body we had, the life we were living, the space to only care for ourselves and our partner and what's in our immediate world. All of that, in some ways, has died. So now there's this death experience. And at the same time, we are bridging a gap from the death of what has been and in creation of what is yet to come. They touch each other, even if there's space between. Even if there's a chunk of space between, there still is connection at either end. I am not using this example to speak only to mothers or mothers-to-be. I'm using this example as an energetic signature that we all are familiar with, that can be lifted and overlaid onto our creative energy. We become inspired, we have a vision, we begin to create a strategy, we take action, others may be brought in. All of this is happening before the actual creation is complete. Each next stage of creation has its own cycle. And every baby is different. Every baby is different for the same mama. Every birth will be different. Every pregnancy will be different. And every baby is different across this planet. We cannot, as women, look around and decide that the way we create is to copy. And I know many of you, that is what we've been taught. There are many coaches, mentors, there are some artists in here, there are all creators, or you would not be here. And so I really want to imbue to you all of your babies, all of your visions, your desires, your dreams, your creations will be unique. They will be different. They will look different. They will move through your body differently. They will impact your life uniquely. We cannot box it. I learned this as a mama of 3 very different children, very different. And unfortunately, in some ways, I learned it by default, that what worked for my eldest, when I applied that to our middle son, it could be damaging. It could be devastating. I was a young mama, and that beautiful earth angel son of mine taught me some of what I am now teaching you. And it's okay not to know. It's okay that I didn't know as a young mama. And we aren't always going to get it right. Every experience of your artistry, of your creative juice, of your expression, of your truth telling will be very different. The next piece I want to share is creation and our artistry is never, ever about the end game. It's not about this was very deep and personal for me. It's not about quickly moving through it so that you can put the thing out there and see how everybody feels about it. I have found that I have newly found, I want to add that, I have newly discovered, and Tapestry is teaching me this, that my artistry requires of me a very deep intimacy. And in fact, each time I cycle through, here are the next steps. Okay, I've taken the action for the next steps, getting clear on how to move and how to land a giant vision. I am learning. I cannot rush it. I am learning at a much deeper level down in my body. And literally, I can feel it in this moment humming in my sex. I have learned I cannot rush it. We are partners. We are lovers. My artistry and I. We are meant to take it slow sometimes and become intimate. Take a moment and imagine or remember a time when you were with your partner, your lover, now or previously, that it was so exquisite because you took your time, you deepened in, you felt every part of that being so alive in your senses, and it amplified the way that you felt yourself. It amplified the pleasure in your cells. It opened you more. And whether it was orgasm or expressions and sounds, whether it was the way that your body moved, whether it was a touch you didn't know, would completely turn you on. It was a deeper intimacy with you through intimacy with your partner lover. Your creative juice connects in the same way. Sometimes, and it's not always, again, there are cycles. Sometimes it's about taking it slow. Sometimes there's stillness. Teresa of Avila taught her nuns in her Carmelite convent that sometimes when it comes to relationship to God and divinity, we're in the desert. We can't force ourselves to just feel the thing. And that's an old imprint of creative energy. Well, I don't feel it, so it must not be real. Who's been in that trap? Me, multiple times. I would say over the last 3 years in preparing for now, not consciously, but in my system, I had stops and starts. I would begin to create the thing. I would know there were threads that were true, and then I couldn't connect to it. And so I put it down. And then there would be something else I was so connected to, and I would follow the thread, and then I couldn't feel it, and I would put it down. I didn't understand then what I do now. And I will also say, I trust that each time I put it down, there was a divine intervention in that. And being where I am now, I've bumped into that place where there are days that the tapestry creative juice is wildly alive. I think about it when I go to bed. I wake up in it. I'm excited. I love the moments. I love seeing it come into form. I know the next conversation. And there are other times I wake up or I have a moment of, what am I doing? Is this real? Can I follow it through? Is it right for me? And I'll tell you that this is another key piece I want to drop in here about your creativity and your artistry. That questioning, that experience of doubt, especially as you get really, really close to the nucleus of your creation, to the soul and the edge and the ripe juice, the sabotaging voice will try to jump in, because that part of us is like, I would like to play in this game too. The challenge of the sabotaging voice is that it will, if given opportunity, it will compel you to create on the sand where there's not a deeper stamina, a deeper devotion, a deeper discipline that can pull it through from the ethereal idea, vision, down into the physical. There must be a deeper connection for that high voltage of your artistry to come through. And that doubting voice, I learned early on in this tapestry creation, it would show up, and literally I would see 3 big red X's, and I would just, as soon as it began to talk, I would just exit out. No, that's not what we're doing. And at first that was challenging, but the deeper I go, the more I can recognize that it's just a sabotaging voice. I don't judge it. I don't make it wrong. I don't decide it's my ego, and I don't care. The X's are more of, I understand, and that's not what we're doing. That's not what we're doing. And I had to consciously put up those X's in the beginning. I don't now. Now, if I have a moment, what I understand even more is to pause, to just pause. Part of my old instinct as well was to try to rush through. Okay, well, I have doubt. I need to do something with it. Whether that was try to understand where the doubt came through and to process it. And now it's more, I see you and I understand, and I trust my vision. I don't have all the answers for this will be the outcome. This many women will arrive. These are the dollars that will come in. This is the justification and the proof for all that we're doing, because it doesn't matter. Because I am right here, right now, with a giant fucking yes to this vision and what it is asking of me. And so I understand there will be cycles within the cycle. That cycle of motherhood we talked about begins with the maiden. She may have a child. The child will grow. And I will tell you, as mama, and you mamas know, our children grow. We feel like we've got them figured out, and they evolve into the next stage. And if you have multiple children, one is doing great and the other is moving into the next stage. It's consistent. I was going to say constant, but that's almost like a constant irritation. Instead, it's a consistent invitation to your own evolution and intimacy. So again, we cannot make it about the end game. Creation and artistry is about right now. Right now. Right now, are you in a place that it's clear what your next steps are and you can take action? If you're not, be still. Go experience pleasure. I promise you that in the experience of pleasure, if you're not clear on the next action and you've been asking for guidance, it will drop in. And it may be a few days. In my experience now, the next steps drop in, I take the action, and then there's a little lull. There's a day like yesterday where we go with our friends out onto the river and we're kayaking in the beautiful wilderness. And we come back and we go, and my husband swims in 66-degree water, over on the ocean with his friends. It's a gift to do that. And we come back here to this beautiful little summer cottage and just enjoy an evening of connection. All the while, this beautiful love of mine, that is Tapestry, is still beating in my heart, alive and well. And she'll be right there. She was. I woke up this morning. The next steps were clear. I knew I would be coming in here to share. And so I take the movement. Likely at some point this afternoon, I'll just go out for a walk, or I'll go over and sit on the beach, or I'll lay on my bed with my sweet little felines. It's nourishing to me. I need both, yin and yang. Creativity is a rhythmic relationship and movement with each involved. It's not about equality. It's about trusting and listening and following the guidance that we get when it is given. One of my next notes is we are always at zero in some way with new creation. Absolutely. You birth that baby, you take that baby home. As much as you put into the desire to have a baby, the lovemaking for your baby, the carrying your baby for all those months, the laboring to birth that child through your body, as much as you went through all of that and the preparations at home, you come home with that baby and you realize you are ill prepared. You cannot know those things you don't know yet. But what you intuitively know is you'll figure it out. It will come together. You will learn how to mother this baby in the way that is right for both of you. You will raise this human. You will hold this beautiful creation that has found its way to you, that sought you out purposefully to be birthed through you. And we are always at zero in some way with each new creation. I think that is so imperative to remember. That is so kind and gracious to ourselves as women and to each other. I keep starting at zero. All these pieces I'm bringing together, even if I am pulling through elements from the past, the woman I am now, the way it's coming into form now is different. Getting on this live today, I forgot I needed in this new group to give Zoom permission. I've done it multiple times, but we're starting at zero again. And that's a beautiful thing. That's a clean slate for our expression to color these walls, to weave these threads of the Tapestry Feminine Collective. The final place I want to go with this is now deepening into artistry, the feminine art of weaving, our artistry that is weaving. When we are weaving, it's not just I paint, I sing, I am pregnant with new life. When we are weaving, we are uttering a prayer. through this creation of tapestry, I and we are sending our blessing and prayer across the planet. And much like a little colony of ants, we are touching one another on the way by. We are cultivating something new and different. And through our words, through your posts here, through your comments, through you even simply sharing on the Where in the World Are You post, what you long for and where you are, so other women can see you and touch you and know if you're in their area. And we can begin to localize in person, touching each other, yes, through the ethers of the Ethernet. But the bigger vision is that we begin to come together in physical form, that we weave our energies together in the physical realm. So I want you to know your choices, your words, your movements are prayers, weaving energy into what will come next on this planet, into what is now within the walls of our collective. This includes our actual prayers. It includes our energetic prayers. Anything that is flowing through us is a prayer. Our words, the actions we take, even the thoughts you're thinking, begin to connect with a reality in which, in this time of bringing the Aquarius energy down to earth, you are one of the foremothers. You have the experience now to, with choice, weave your energy into the very new expression of life and living that is landing on this planet. Your artistry is one of the foundational elements of how we go forward. We are bringing, through our artistry as well, divine energy into form. Many of you here are of some spiritual background, whether that's religious, whether that's spiritual. I know one of our women is a Sufi, which is her own unique divine connection. We all have the capacity for that. Some of us experience it in nature, and in this space, there is zero expectation for how your relationship to divinity unfolds. What is true is that as women, as the feminine yin energy, when we weave, we are weaving the threads of spiritual awareness, divine essence, God's blessing upon this planet. We are bringing it from the spiritual, cosmic, heavenly realm right down here on earth, where others can see it and touch it, maybe purchase it from you if you craft art and goods. Receive your service if you're a provider, a practitioner, a coach. What you are doing through your artistry is bringing the beauty and the magic and the divinity and the grace and the love of heaven down to earth. And do we not need that in abundance now? We are the medium, right? Artists often talk about what is your chosen medium? Watercolors, oil paints. I don't paint. I don't know the other words. Many of you do. Chime in. We are the medium, the channel through which all that is, my word that came is holy, divine, what is that word I want? All I can think is unblemished from my childhood days in religion. I keep seeing the pure lamb. Just uninhibited, uninterrupted, untainted, beautiful energy, magic, love. Unique to each of us. The way that I express it won't look like anybody else in this space. That's why we weave together. That's it. We are seeding and planting those divine blossoms of life right down here in the physical. We are the medium. As I said, we are the connector, the stream of energy between the sacred, cosmic, and the mundane, earthly. Imagine a world where there's no feminine artistry. We would shrivel up. All life here, without that feminine juice and moisture and nourishment, would dry up. You cannot rush it. Your artistry has its own cycle. What you can do is choose to be in relationship with it. Choose to love into form the richness that wants to come through you, that wants to, I think of a woman I know whose art makes me smile, just gives me joy to look at it, gives me joy to think about her creating. It's magic. And it can be simple. It can be so simple. It's not elaborate or complex. It's beautifully simple. And it's changing the world. I want to leave you with a little bit of an inquiry, along with a little bit of a challenge or a mandate for you to consider. First of all, do you understand your own cycles of creation and the ways in which you weave? And if not, are you yet intimate with how you desire to weave? And finally, what are your next steps? And if you don't know, I promise you, send that prayer, weave that inquiry out into the universe, and the response will be sent back. And if you don't recognize it right off, don't worry. Your desire to know will open the channels of your understanding. And women, we are here to support you, to walk beside you, and to uplift you as you deepen in. You are welcome to share here. The women I have gathered in this place want to know you, are here with intention, and all of you is welcome here. Thank you.